Recently, I met an old colleague at the work and I was asking about his health condition. He said he was in the hospital after a surgery, and I was very curious about what happened. He said, his gallbladder got removed. Do you know what is gallbladder? What is the purpose of gallbladder? Yeah. So today's video we're going to discuss about. You see that tree in the background? When the tree have a branch that is not healthy, what we normally do? We just cut that branch, right? This is what we normally do. Human beings, they do the same thing. When some organs are not healthy, some organs are not working the way it should be, we remove that organs. It's a normal operating procedures, and that's what his doctor did. His doctor removed gallbladder. So is it a healthy option to remove any organs from our body? So I will explain you with this example. Do you see this? This is a bottle, right? This is a bottle, and you can see this mungo beans here. So this bottle, this jar have two parts. One is the main part where the mungo beans, almost 2 kilos of mungo beans in this jar, and there is a closing cap, right? So do you really need this cap? What will happen if you don't have this cap? You can still hold the mungo beans, nothing will happen to this thing, but when you have this closing cover, what you can do a lot of things. You can put it in a cover and you can just take it to some place. You can also do this turn, all these things. But if you don't have this cap, can you do those things? You cannot do these things, right? But do we really need this cap for mungo beans to be there? Doesn't require it. But what are the benefit of having this closing cover? A lot of benefit, right? Similar like that, we have a lot of organs in our body. Do you know how many organs we have? We have a lot of organs. Almost 78 organs we have in our body, and 5 of them is really essential. Those essential organs means, we cannot live without those organs. If anything happened to these organs, most probably that person will die. So these are the 5. There are 5 essential organs, and the rest of the 73 is non-essential organs. Non-essential organs means people can survive even without those organs. And gallbladder is one of those non-essential organs. You can remove that organs and people will live without any problem. That's what the research paper says. But my theory is, all these organs are there for a reason. So if you remove any organs, there is always a complication. So if you are planning to remove any organs, or if you are thinking about removing organs, always remember what was the purpose of that organ. What will happen if you remove that organs? Why you have to remove that organ? Is there any other way to recover that organ? Or is there no option to recover that organ? So gallbladder, so we will go through this gallbladder as an example. Imagine what will happen if you remove gallbladder. What is the function of gallbladder? So the main function of gallbladder is keep a liquid, and that liquid is called bile, right? What is the function of bile? Bile have a lot of usage, but the main usage is when you consume food, and whenever you consume any fatty food, your body release that bile, and the food will get mixed with that bile salt, and then the absorption is happening. A lot of vitamins absorption need this bile, this liquid. So bile is similar, like imagine you have some oil, fat oil, right? Oil, coconut oil or olive oil, you have this oil, and whenever you eat coconut oil or olive oil, this is all fat, right? I hope you know that. This is all fat. So whenever you consume those things, bile is released, the oil is mixed with bile, and then the nutrients from this oil is get absorbed by your body. So if you don't have this bile, and this bile is produced by who? This bile is produced by your liver. Your liver is always producing this bile. So when the liver produces this bile, it's stored in the gallbladder. So one of the function of this gallbladder is to store this bile. So when you eat food, this is similar like a small balloon, and that balloon have inside the balloon there is the bile. Your body store that bile. Whenever you eat the food, the bile is getting released to your intestine, and all the nutrients are getting absorbed. So, and when you're not eating, the bile again is getting stored here, but your liver is the something that is creating the bile. So your liver create bile, it's stored there. But when you don't have that gallbladder, what will happen? This is why they say that you can live without, you can also live a healthy life without bile, because your liver is the one which is making that bile. And when you don't have gallbladder, that storage is gone, but the bile production is still happening. So that means if you have a healthy liver, you don't need to absolutely worry about gallbladder removal. But most probably, if you have a gallbladder issue, means most probably the other organs is also not healthy. So if you have any organs have problem, these organs are all working together, working in parallel. And when some organs is not healthy, not working the way it should be, there is always another organs which has to take the responsibility. These organs have some duty to do. When they are not doing that duty, somebody else has to do. Imagine that your house, right? Imagine your house. All the house have people living in, and the house has to be healthy, and you have to clean, and it has to be there. Somebody has to do that, right? I remember in my house, my mother is the one taking care of the entire house. And when my mother is sick, that responsibility is on us. She will say that, okay, Jobi, go clean that things or get these things. There are a lot of things my mother is doing in my house. But when my mother, sometimes she gets sick, and she was giving this task to someone else, because house has to be clean. It doesn't matter whether my mother is sick or we are sick, there is always that task has to be done. So similar like that, when in your body, when these organs are sick or healthy or removed, the task has to be always done. This organ is there for a reason. So somebody else has to do that task. That means some other organs has to do the task. So imagine what will happen if that organ is unhealthy as well. That is a time when there is a lot of problems is going to happen. So gallbladder is something, it is okay to remove, it's safe to remove. That's what the documentation, the research is saying. But is it really healthy to remove? If there is a chance you can save that organ, make sure you do that, get the organs healthy. Most of the diseases can be cured with the help of healthy food. So most of the time, if you have a problem with gallbladder, or if you have a problem with liver or something, it's mostly because of the lifestyle. If you change your lifestyle, most probably you are going to save that organ. So if you have a chance to save that organ, make sure you save that organ. And in case there is no other chance, there is no other option, then that is a possibility. You can go with organs removal. But you have to understand what organ you are going to remove, and if you remove organ, what was the function, what was the purpose of that organ, and what is something can happen. So you are prepared, you are just thinking about, you are prepared, and you are giving support for the other organs to do that work as well. So I hope this video is helpful. Bile is something we need. You don't need to absolutely worry about. In case if a gallbladder is removed, you don't need to worry, but make sure your liver is healthy, right? Because now your liver has to make that bile immediately when you eat fatty food. So some of the things you can do is make sure that your liver is healthy. You are doing you are securing your liver, and also don't give too much fatty food to your body, because now you don't have bile storage. And if you are eating too much of fatty food, your body has to release that bile, right? And otherwise that fatty food is not absorbed. It doesn't mean that you have to absolutely remove fatty food from your diet. Fat is really required, fatty food is really required. So you consume fatty food, but don't go for too much fatty food, and also don't go for too much unhealthy fatty food. There are a lot of unhealthy fatty food. That means you can consume olive oil, you can consume coconut oil, but when you are cooking that oil, it's getting damaged. It's becoming an unhealthy food. So avoid this kind of cooking and overcooking, overheating, over frying, all this kind of things. Just avoid it. Make sure you are consuming a lot of nutritious food. If you are unaware what is that food, make sure you visit my website, and there are a lot of blogs which is explain about what is that healthy food, what type of food I recommend for my clients, and what type of food I consider is a healthy food. I consider a lot of nutritious food are the healthy food that we all should consume. If you want to be healthy, and if you want to, be healthy, make sure you are checking this diet, you are checking your diet, you are eating healthy food, you are doing things that will help you become healthy. And that's something we all have to do. So I follow a special kind of diet to make sure my health is in check. So, and that diet details also, you can find it in my website. If you're interested, go visit that website. I hope this video is helpful. I'll talk to you soon with another video. Take care.